Cool.
Hi everybody, it's Mick Liubinskas here from Climate Salad, and I'm joined by my cousin, Todd Liubinskas. Hey Todd, how you going, mate?
G'day, Mick. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, good. Great to have you here. This is obviously we're not talking specifically about climate, but you work in the health and wellness space, and in climate technology, we have a lot of first-time founders, and honestly, even if you're a 10th-time co-founder, there's a lot of pressure around running a company, having staff, paying salaries, looking after investors, looking after customers, a lot of uncertainty with it. And as well, I'll say in climate technology, there's the overarching weight of a bit of climate anxiety as well, especially with the IPCC report out last week, not being very positive. But these things take a long time. And one of the things I've certainly talked to young entrepreneurs, first-time entrepreneurs about is looking after their health and wellness in the long term, that there are definitely parts of this which is a sprint and parts which is a marathon. So I just wanted to have a chat to you about some of the principles that they could think about in order to maintain their health and wellness and the value of that. Give us some tips and tricks.
Yeah, totally. Well, I think the first thing there, Mick, is looking after yourself too. I think if you can show up and be the fittest version of yourself, you're naturally going to be healthier for not only your family, but then you relay that back through your work. And I think another big point of that is vibrating at a high level. So when you walk into the room or when you walk into a meeting, you're going to naturally just infect that whole meeting with a really good vibration and a really good sound positive mindset as well. One thing I really wanted to touch on was throughout August, I've started a challenge, and it's called the Daily Mate Challenge. And it's basically 8 points, which you can stick by and go through every single day. And I took it in relation to the 75 Hard challenge. So there was a guy called Andy Frisella, and he basically went for 75 days, and there was a bunch of things you had to do for 75 days to improve your overall health. Now, I've watered that down and made it appealing just to everyone. So, and I'm not going to expect everyone to go out there and push for 75 days, but this is something you can start off, and it doesn't just have to be in August. It can be an everyday thing to create some really good habits. And what they are, the first part about it is getting an accountability buddy. So the first point is, so I say to you, Mick, hey, for the next month, this is what we're going to do. And you guys are accountable to each other. And it could be, you might have a few more, but it's usually one, or you might have, your close circle of friends or family members for that matter. And the next point is about movement. So moving for 40 minutes a day. Now that can be broken up into, 4 10-minute walks, 2 20-minute walks, or it could be moving for 40 minutes. It could be, hey, I'm not going to drive down the coffee shop today. I'm going to walk down, grab my coffee and walk back. The next part about that is drinking water. So hydrating, making sure we get a base level of water, which is 3 liters. I like to think is a really nice base level of what we need to operate on the day-to-day basis of movement and getting the body moving. And then the biggest part about this point is sitting with yourself and breathing. So actually shutting everything off, turning all the devices off, all the screens off, and sitting with yourself for a 5-minute breathing block. Now that can be breathing however you want to do it. You could do a bit of block breathing, so you breathe in for 5 seconds, hold it for 5, breathe out for 5, hold it for 5, or if that doesn't work, you just go with your flow. But what you find there is you actually, once you turn everything off and take in the sounds of where you are, and you generally start to become a little bit more present in what you're doing, and start to really think about things. And that generally works really well if you do it first thing in the morning, but there's no rules around when you need to do it. The other part is about...
So just on that, like that can seem like an investment, right? Every minute there's an email in your inbox, there's a customer problem, there's a team problem, there's never ending things you can do. Even 5 minutes can seem like a big investment of time, but what can we say to entrepreneurs to be like, that is an incredibly important investment for you to make?
Well, that is paying it forward to yourself before you actually make a decision, to actually shutting everything off and just sitting there and going, right, what's my next move here? You might have received some sort of email that's taking a lot of capacity. You might have to just go, hey, I'd rather take a step back before I go into 4 leaps forward. And it's almost paying it forward for yourself, for your own mental health and your own mindset, and that decision's probably going to be a little bit better if you sort of sit with yourself. The next part about that is paying it forward again in compliments. So giving 2 compliments out throughout the day, and that could be a random, or it could be a family member, or it could be someone who you're dealing with on a day-to-day basis. But it's a compliment, not work-related, totally just, hey, Mick, mate, those glasses look great today. And, your background, and it's got to be a compliment per person. So 2 people, 1 compliment per person. And what you find there is once you pay that forward, you see straight away when I gave you that compliment about your glasses, there was a smile, right? And that's infectious. So that starts to relay through the screen too. The next one is FaceTiming a friend for 5 minutes. Now, that's not work related. That is totally off the cuff. I'm going to FaceTime someone and just make their day. And you might want to FaceTime them with that compliment, or you might want to FaceTime them and go, hey, let's sit and breathe for 5 minutes together, however that looks. So the next 2 are pretty important too. And it's, the next one is reading for 20 minutes. Now, traditionally, we want to read, if there's a Gimbal or something like that online, but try and go for a paperback copy of something, taking yourself away from technology, sitting down, reading for 20 minutes. And as you said, it's probably hard for people to find that 20 minutes, but it's exactly the same as the movement piece. So you can try and find that 20 minutes, maybe break it up 5 minutes over a few different parts. It might be, I might breathe for five minutes, then go into that reading process as well, whatever that looks like. And the last one, Mick, is just reducing the unhealthy foods. So what we tend to find as well, especially in the current climate we're in, we probably reach for the things that, might want to make us feel a bit better, or, it's the glass of wine, or it's the chockies or something like that. Just try and reduce that. And I'm not saying cut it out. All I'm saying is just reduce it by about 25%. So it might not 2 handfuls of something, it might be 1, and then you might want to reduce that to another half. Now, all up, that's probably about 90 minutes of your day. Really, 90 minutes of every single day that you can actually give back to yourself. And there's movement in there, there's mindset, there's also, working through compliments and paying it forward. So I find that's now working through August at the moment, but that can be set for the whole year. It can be set for a 2-week period, a week period, whatever it is. And I encourage the guys on the call and for everyone in your network to maybe make their own version of that for their groups, make their own version of the Daily Mate Challenge. And that could be something that might be non-negotiable. So every single day I might have to get up and move. I might have to go and dunk myself in the water, and I might have to breathe. If I do that every single day, then I'm generally going to be in front of my health and fitness.
Nice. And I think there are some things there that we can apply where you can get a bit of leverage. And I know, obviously, we don't want to have the breathing time to be work related, but a big one I've found helpful is walking meetings. The massive difference between sitting at another call. I think especially in lockdown, these things are magnified. But the ease of a walking meeting to be just put the headphones in, put the phone in your pocket, and go for a walk. And half an hour can go by really quickly, and you've got, you've still been productive. And actually the meetings are, I think, invigorated. I think by the walking in different environments.
Exactly.
So there are ways to bring this to have some overlap in this and some leverage as well. So yeah,
totally, mate. That's a great idea.
What about sleep? And one thing I just want to quickly touch on is the sometimes there might be pressure to work 7 days a week and work very long hours, and there's times at startups when I've certainly done that, and maybe I felt like I needed to. But in terms of the balance of would it be better for someone to be working 7 days a week but getting at least 8 hours every night? Or is it really important to have a full 24 hours off where work's away and hidden and I'm not on it? Like in terms of a cadence, at what points does it get really unhealthy, and how do we get some balance there?
Oh, I think entrepreneurs, it's pretty hard to find a balance where someone's going to go, right, I'm going to take the full 24 hours off. For me, I'm the same. I work 7 days a week. I'm always on. And I think if we're getting if we make sure we're getting that 8-hour block non-negotiable before you, and you can put time in, you'll probably find yourself more productive, and you'll probably want to do more work on the days, if you've got families and things like that. Maybe it is one of those days is dedicated just to family, whether that's going out and playing with your kids and things like that. But in terms of sleep, I think it's the quality of sleep we're getting as well. Generally, if we're on the screen for the whole day, and then we're watching something, and then we're trying to go to sleep, it's probably not going to be a good quality sleep. What I tend to instill in a lot of people I work with is to say, well, okay, an hour before you go to sleep, dim the lights, turn all the lights off, and really reduce that light that's actually impacting back onto the body, and making sure that it's dim lit, making sure that you're actually winding the body down before you go into sleep, and not watching something that's suspenseful or emailing or things like that. Then when you hit the pillow, your mind's still going. So it's actually really good to do that breathing exercise just before you go to sleep, but also wind your body down with a tea or some water. I generally like to take magnesium before I go to bed. I've played around with supplementation as well, just because of the nature of my work is very physical. So my body, that's the time when my body repairs itself, and it needs 8 hours minimum to get up and do the things I need to do. I'm working out 3 to 4 times a day. But on the flip side, for you guys, you're working out as well, because your brain capacity is going in a million different directions every single day. You're giving your time to all these people, and the output is so broad, where you've got to do something to get the tokens back in the body, the good tokens back in the body, so you can actually rest properly. So sleep, I would recommend, dimming the lights down, dimming everything down an hour before you go to bed. Have a nice tea, try and get some magnesium in your body, and try and get the 8 hours every single night. And if you feel like you need to work 7 days a week, that's great. But I'd try and dedicate a day to the family as well, or probably even 2 days if you can.
Okay, awesome, fantastic. Just a few final points. I know you work in, do a lot of corporate work in health and wellness and fitness. Is that a bit of a trend you're seeing about companies caring about the whole of their employees? And I know that they might be accentuated in lockdown, but in our work in climate technology, about caring about the whole world and the environment, do you see that as a growing trend? And is there real and substance there about caring for people in their environment?
Yeah, more so now, Mick, than ever. I think last year when everything happened with the pandemic, it was a little bit of we didn't know what to expect, and we weren't sure when it was, and this is a bit different, and we got time to share with our families. I think this time through that process, it's hit people a lot harder. So a lot of people are on the deadlines, and a lot of people are really trying to find ways to actually make it work. But it's Groundhog Day. It's how do you overcome that? So the work that I've been doing is a lot of mindfulness, sitting with yourself and knowing that it will pass. Things are going to pass. Things are going to get better. But it's about giving people the accountability to each other to go, right, well, if I'm not feeling well, stick your hand up and say that. And it's okay to take a few hours off in that afternoon and come back in fresh the next day. I think a lot of companies, especially the guys I'm dealing with at that higher level, are going, hey, if you need time, go and do it. That's fine. And I think that's where team members are buying in and saying, all right, I'll pick up, if Mick has to take half the day off, then I'll pick up his work and then we'll come back in fresh tomorrow. And doing all these things like the Daily Mate Challenge are really enabling people to go right and to sit with themselves and just make better versions of themselves. So I think it's something that's going to be ongoing now. I think it's going to be something that, especially in people and culture in certain big industries and big companies, this has got to be the go-to sort of standard of activity that happens on the daily for staffing, because otherwise we're just going to burn out. It's everyone's now got that mix of working from home, working in the office, and working remotely. So it's about how do we keep positive and keep a healthy version of our staff so we can get the right output from people.
Fantastic. And last thing, and this is for climate salad. So I've got to ask you, what's your favorite salad?
Oh, my favorite salad is a tossed apple, chicken, nut salad.
Chicken and nut salad. Well, you're gonna have to send me some sort of recipe there to add in underneath that video. Hey Todd,
Yeah,
thank you
yeah.
so much for your time. I hope you get your 8 done today. I've been for a 5K walk this morning already, very fortunately, and appreciate you being a positive health and wellness influence in my life. And hopefully we can get some entrepreneurs to again, it's a marathon. Most companies take 8.3 years to get to a point of profitability and growth and scale. And so it's a marathon, not a sprint. So look after yourself on this big journey. And Todd, thanks so much for sharing.
Thanks, Mick. Appreciate it. And stay healthy and stay safe, guys.
Todd, what's the best way for people to follow you and learn more about health and wellness?
Yeah, so you can follow me on Instagram. It's Todd Liubinskas. If you don't know the spelling of the name, just you'll probably know from Mick's last name.
How hard is it to spell Liubinskas? I mean, if people can't spell a basic Aussie name like that, then I don't know.
It's like Smith.
I'll add it's Smith in Lithuania. I'll put the link down below for those very few who aren't able to spell it, mate. But we'll follow you on Instagram and we'll get inspired by you there. So thanks again, mate.
I'm on LinkedIn as well. So thanks, Mick.
On
Appreciate
LinkedIn for the business stuff. Yep, excellent.
Yep.
Cheers, Todd.